Can the Freedom of Information Act be used for commercial purposes? Have you ever wondered if the Freedom of Information Act can be utilized for commercial purposes? This is an interesting question that touches on the intersection of government transparency and business interests. The Freedom of Information Act, often referred to as FOIA, allows individuals to request access to government records. But when it comes to commercial use, things get a bit more specific. Yes, the Freedom of Information Act can indeed be used to request information for commercial purposes. However, it is important to note that these requests are treated differently than those made for personal or non-commercial reasons. A commercial purpose under FOIA means that the requester aims to use the information for sale, resale, solicitation, advertisement, or any activity that furthers commercial interests. This could include using the information to gain a competitive edge in business. When a request is made for commercial purposes, government agencies have specific obligations. Typically, they have 21 business days to respond to the request. The agency can either provide the records, deny the request if it falls under an exemption, notify the requester about potential costs, or state that fulfilling the request would be unduly burdensome. Fees may be charged for processing commercial requests. These fees often include the actual costs of searching, duplicating, and reviewing the records. For instance, some jurisdictions allow agencies to charge for copies beyond a certain number of pages or for color copies and unusually sized documents. It is also worth mentioning that commercial requests are distinct from those made by news media, nonprofit organizations, or academic institutions. These groups often receive more favorable treatment under FOIA, as their requests are not considered commercial. From a libertarian perspective, which values government transparency and individual access to information, the allowance for commercial use aligns with the belief that government-held information should be accessible to everyone, including businesses. Transparency supports free markets by enabling informed decision-making and competition. However, libertarians may argue that any fees or restrictions on commercial requests should be minimal. Excessive costs or controls could hinder the free flow of information and economic freedom. In summary, the Freedom of Information Act does permit commercial use of government information, but it comes with specific rules and potential fees. This framework supports a transparent legal and political system where private entities can utilize public data for legitimate business activities while balancing the government's resource concerns.